in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane. It's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty. Now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine. We live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we prepare for our 9th race of the season, the 4th season of the NNSCRA Pizza Hut X Series. I told you guys I was going to try and look for some new tracks to debut on the schedule to replace where we originally were supposed to be this weekend, FTF Super Speedway, but since we are 2 weeks removed from our Super Speedway weekend at Bump Draft and wanted to go to somewhere different, we found a new track, and we're going to see what kind of racing it's going to bring about here today. We're in South Africa. I'm going to try not to butcher the name of this race, of this racetrack. I believe it's the Kyalami Raceway, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, should be interesting. It's a road course, little over 2.5 miles, and we've got 16 laps of racing on tap here today. Now, like we've done so far with our road courses this season, of course I think the only road course we've been to so far is Infineon, there will be no cautions. So if any wrecks take place, it'll be up to our editing crew and the people in the booth to be able to show you what takes place courtesy of the NNSCRA split cam during the course of this race, because we will be covering the action both live and the incidents that take place on this racetrack. But it's brand new for us, brand new for these drivers, and can't wait to see what's going to take place here in this one. We got an all Kev Shearer Racing Tech front row. Now you'll notice that the camera is focused on the 34 of Jordan Lopes, our winner from a couple of weeks ago at Bump Drafting. The reason being that is going to be the inside line going down to the first turn. So he is the pole sitter alongside of his teammate Scott Roush in the 38. Roush looking for his first win of the season. Then you've got last week's winner from Kansas, Chris Dollerton, lining up in third with Z Flickinger there in fourth place. And completing your top 5 is going to be the 92 of Joshua Hyatt. We at this point have run 8 total races, if you will, and we have had a total of 9 different drivers go to victory lane. Let's get that command.
Drivers, start them engines!
That's a new command. I don't remember hearing that one for a while. It's almost like Mater the tow truck gave the command. But regardless, as I mentioned, 9 different race winners this season, and we're going to give you where those 9 drivers are currently running in the point standings as they do this pace lap, plus give you your top 10 of the points coming into today's race, presented by Golden Corral. Angel Navarro is still the points leader, holds a 4-point advantage over the new second-place driver, Chloe Ericsson. Steve Morgan, rookie points leader, is third under Baranauskas in fourth, and Jordan Lopes, starting on the pole position, is 5th in points coming into this race. The top 5 in the points separated by 17 positions. Then you got Quentin Moore. He is 6th in the standings with Daytona winner Yin Canario in 7th. Alex Gray in 8th, Dougie Shears 9th, and Charles Jackson completes the top 10. 4 of our former race winners are in the top 10 in points. Our other former winners from this season, where are they currently situated in the standings? Justin Tucker is 13th in points. Seth Cole is 17th. Aubrey Eselstein currently sits 23rd. Chris Dollerton, after his win, jumped up to 33rd in points, but still needs to get into the top 30 in the standings for that win to count towards a spot in the playoffs. And Now out of the top 30 in points, our Las Vegas winner, Nathan Hudson, is 36th in the standings. So right now, of our 9 race winners, only 7 of those drivers would make the playoffs, being in the top 30 in standings. Chris Dollerton and Nathan Hudson really need good runs here today. Dollerton, of course, with good starting track position. Not sure where Nathan Hudson's starting in this field. You'll be able to find out. You can check down in the description below for the official starting lineup for this race. Now, this is going to be fun. It's a brand new racetrack, debuting on this channel entirely. We've never run at this track before. And we've also got a debuting track for tomorrow's Hershey's Cup Series race, where we're going to actually be, for the first time in the Hershey's Cup Series, running a timed event. It's not going to be down to laps, it's going to be down to the clock, so you'll want to tune in for that one. Looks like that's the yellow line there for pit road. So the pace car will be heading down that way. And it's time to go racing here at Kyalami. I think that's how it's pronounced. Kyalami Speedway, Kyalami Raceway. Now let's get ready to find out what this track's going to bring in terms of racing. Teammates, Lopes, Roush, get us underway. Green flags in the air. Let's roll. How aggressive are these drivers going to be here, taking to this track for the first time in the Pizza Hut X Series? Looks like they're getting through the first corner pretty well, as Lopes will take the top spot from Scott Roush. Battle is on for second. Dollerton alongside the 38. A couple of cars getting a little off course there, kicking some dust up in the air. So far, everybody is still okay. We haven't had a wreck yet. Roush now takes control of second. Chris Dollerton moves to third. Z Flickinger in fourth. You see just a little bit of the tires getting off the racing course, and that's causing a lot of dust to kick up. Caused some visibility issues for some drivers. As watching the battle for fourth place, Joshua Hyatt in the 92, Z Flickinger in the 96. Mark Davidson waiting to see which line might open up. Flickinger might have the spot off this corner. He hasn't got the 92 cleared yet. They'll take this race down into the final turn. And Flickinger, I think, will get the spot down here into this right-hander. Mark Davidson's going to move down to the inside as well. Looks like Joshua Hyatt may not only lose fourth place, but also fifth position to his teammate. Seth Cole now has moved up to 7th, and we saw Cole Deaver make a move on M McIntire, so move him up to 8th. McIntire now back to 9th place. Wow, look at how loose through that corner the 38 of Scott Roush was, trying to run down his teammate Jordan Lopes in the 34. Now this race is 16 laps in length. As I mentioned, a little over 2.5 miles each lap. I don't know for certain if this is a kind of race that would come down to strategy or not. If anything, I don't know if fuel would actually be an issue, but I think maybe it could be a tire type race. I mean, we're seeing these drivers slipping and sliding around. There's very little banking on any of these corners. Mostly the only thing we're seeing is elevation changes. It's really flat corners. And flat corners, depending on how you approach them, can really wear down your good years. Had a battle that was brewing for a moment there for third place. Flickinger was closing in on Chris Dollerton, but not able to make the move on him. Scott Roush slowly closing in on Jordan Lopes. That could be a battle that'll heat up between teammates for the top position. Now Lopes, as we mentioned, 5th in the points coming into this race, already been to victory lane 2 weeks ago at Bump Track and Super Speedway, but his teammate, on the other hand, Scott Roush, comes into this race 20th in the point stands, and he hasn't been to victory lane yet. So if Roush gets to the back bumper of the Asus Ford Mustang, how aggressive is he going to be? Lopes, before coming into this season, was a former winner in the Pizza Hut X Series. Was also at one point, I believe it was back in Season 2, in the hunt for the championship in the playoffs. Scott Roush, on the other hand, though, has yet to pick up his very first career Pizza Hut X Series win, so Definitely looks like he would be the hungriest of those two drivers at this point in time. This battle for third heating up again. We've also got a battle between teammates for a spot inside of the top 5. Joshua Hyatt got back around Mark Davidson, but Davidson wants the spot once again. I'll tell you who's faded back is Seth Cole in the 66. He might have been involved in a wreck, actually. Oh, we got a spin there on the front straightaway. Chloe Ericsson, the 46, just spun around. Carson Gums back here. Where did Seth Cole go in the 66 car? Oh, there he is. He's way back here. I don't know if something happened to him or not. If it did, you guys have probably already seen it on the split cam. Probably won't see, well, actually probably will see what happened to the 46 of Ericsson because we only just caught the tail end of that spin. But I don't think anybody's out of the race. Yeah, everybody's still running. And so far, everybody's still on the lead lap. That's basically going to, I think, be the case for this race, provided we don't have any driver have to come to pit road for damage since it's a road course. We are about a quarter of the way through this race, and the battle for second now about to heat up. Chris Dollerton closing the gap between himself and Scott Roush. Of course, Dollerton would love nothing better than to go to victory lane for back-to-back weeks, but I think more importantly for him, he just wants a consistent run here today because he's 33rd in points and needs to get into the top 30 in the standings for his win last week at Kansas to count towards a spot in the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, Scott Roush is a lot better through the first and second corners than Jordan Lopez is, and now the top 3 are very close to each other. Still less than a second separating these 3. And we could see a battle for the lead heat up here pretty quickly. Lopez has started to seem to taper off, and I think that a big reason for that is, as I stated, the tires are wearing down, making these corners. You have a lot less grip. You're slipping and sliding around, and now these drivers are having to fight their race cars as well as the racetrack. Comes down to experience and the setup of your machine as to the long run and the speeds that you lay down. Dollerton trying to reel in Scott Roush. Got Flickinger hanging right there in 4th place. Joshua Hyatt in 5th. Cole Deaver now picking up another spot. He just got around Mark Davidson. That was for 6th place. And see Mason Wood just now making a move on Matt McIntire. That moves the 18 up to 8th place. He's currently right now the highest running Toyota in the field, and the only Toyota currently inside of the top 10. It's almost looking like, as far as the overtaking turns, the best one is turn 1. We've seen Roush close up the gap on Lopez. We've seen Dollerton close up the gap on Roush, and look at Dollerton. Dollerton all over the back bumper of the 38. Now, if Roush and Dollerton battle a bit here for second place, that's going to help Lopez for a brief amount of time to be able to kind of pull away. Dollerton messed up that corner a bit, got 2 tires off the racing surface, and now that brings Zach Flickinger to his back door. So now what was looking like a battle between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd now is a battle between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, as Lopez has been able to gap the top, or the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place by just the least little bit. And Cole Deaver, he may have the best long run car right now. He's been picking up spots steadily, now all over the back bumper of Joshua Hyatt. That would be for a spot inside of the top 5, and here he comes to the inside looking for it down to turn 1. Gonna try and outbrake Joshua Hyatt here. Look at that beautifully executed pass for the Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boat Chevy Camaro out of Gardner Racing. So Cole Deaver has now cracked the top 5. Looked like right there, Roush got a little bit off the course, lost a little bit of momentum. Dollerton closes back up again. If he can not mess up this corner here, he might have a shot at second place, and again he messes it up. Wow, got off track that time. Got over the rumble strip, and Flickinger was there to capitalize. So Flickinger looks like will move by for 3rd place. Dollerton drops back to 4th. Two drivers on the move, Flickinger in the 96, Deaver in the 15, both teammates out of Gardner Racing as Lopes continues to show the way. His laps haven't exactly been, pristine, but he's been able to turn just enough good enough laps that his teammates not been able to get to him. And now we got a battle here for fourth. Cole Deaver going to pick up another spot as he gets to the inside of Chris Dollerton. 15, without a doubt in my mind, is the fastest car on the track, and he is the driver that has adapted the most to this racetrack. Very strong car. The question is, though, as we're now about halfway through this race, does he have enough time to get up there, get by Flickinger, get by Roush, and have a shot at challenging Jordan Lopes for the race lead? I mean, he's been able to pick up about 5 to 6 spots here in the first 8 laps. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to get by 3 race cars in the final 8 laps. Drop back here a little bit ways here in the top 10 as we've got drivers just outside of the top 10 battling. That's Daniel Olson and Quentin Moore. I believe that would currently be for the 13th position. Olson will take the spot. Moore drops back now to 14th. James Qualls right there in 15th place. Drivers we have not seen up here, though, are a number of drivers that come into this race running up at the top of the point standings. There is Angel Navarro, came in the points leader last time by. He was scored as we got cars coming to pit road. William Brock and Jessica Miles. Flickinger's on pit road, so we're getting some green flag pit stops here. Navarro crossed the line last time in the 23rd position. The good news for him is we saw Chloe Ericsson have that issue with that spin, and so she is further back. And so right now Navarro might still have the points lead heading to next week. We'll have to see. Jordan Lopes, though, was only 17 points back coming into this race, and he's dominated this race up front so far. And it was Flickinger, Brock, and Miles who came to pit road under this lap. So yeah, this is kind of interesting that they're pitting now, coming on to lap 8 and lap 9, which means they're going to be really close on fuel if the fuel window is only 8 to 9 laps. They're going to be close on fuel in the closing stages. This could be the only pit stop of the day. I don't know. Let's see if any of the leaders going to come to pit road this lap. Lopes in the 34. Looks like he's indicating he's coming to pit lane. Cole Deaver is in as well. Most of the other leaders going to stay out, and that will turn the race lead over to Scott Roush in the 38. That's our first lead change of the day, and it comes at the completion of lap 9 on to lap 10. So if this is the only pit stop that these drivers are going to have to make, this is what we dub the money stop. This is where basically it falls into the hands of the pit crew as to whether the driver is going to win this race or not. Now, one thing that's going to be interesting is we saw that Lopes came to pit road 1 lap earlier than the 38 of Scott Roush. How good of lap times is Scott Roush going to be able to lay down here as opposed to when Lopes gets back onto the track with fresher rubber? And where is the 34 and the 38 going to be coming off pit road in relation to each other? I'd also be very worried about Cole Deaver with fresh tires. I mean, he was flying up through the field, got up as high as 4th place when the cycle of pit stops began, so watch out for him when they put 4 fresh tires on his Chevrolet here in the final few laps of this race. Scott Roush, is he going to come to pit road this lap? Doesn't look like it. He's going to stay out another lap. So will Dollerton. Doesn't look like any really of our leaders are coming to pit road this time. They're going to go around another time. So maybe all that time that Scott Roush was riding behind his teammate in 2nd place, he might have been saving a little bit of fuel. But, I mean, if we had drivers coming to pit road there back on laps 8, 9, there's no way that these drivers can make it the entirety of the way on fuel. So these drivers, I think right now, that are out in front, Roush and Dollerton and Hyatt, Davidson, I think what they're hoping for right now is that they can just keep this track position and not have to pit until absolutely necessary. There's James Shelly and Alex Gray, Jessica Miles, William Brock. They were all on pit road. Flickinger right on the back bumper of Lopes, but look who is ahead of Lopes, Cole Deaver. So when the leaders come to pit road, it may cycle the 15 around as the race leader. Scott Roush going to come to pit road this time. No, he's not. And none of the other leaders do either. Wow. So this is very interesting that Cole Deaver and Lopes and Flickinger all came to pit road early. And you've got a varying strategy of these drivers trying to stretch it as far as they can. So I thought that the fuel window, based on when we saw those leaders hit pit road, was about 8 to 9 laps. Apparently, I'm being proved wrong. They can make it at least 11 laps, and looks like they're going to go for at least a 12th lap as well. Boy, but you can see how the grip in those tires are definitely going away. Nearly half of Scott Roush's Ford was off the course that time. But like I said, right here is the potential battle for the win, I would think, if anybody is not or if anybody doesn't try risking it and going the entire 16 laps on fuel. Cole Deaver ahead of Jordan Lopes. When do these leaders have to hit pit road? That is the big question. Scott Roush, will he try and stretch it another lap? Yes, he will. Dollerton does the same. Kind of surprised that Dollerton is taking this risk, especially with the fact that we were mentioning he needs to have a good run to get into the top 30 in the point standings, and it's a bit of a gamble on his part. Joshua Hyatt there with his teammate Mark Davidson, couple of rookies out of William Brock Motorsports. They have stayed out. Their team owner in the 62 came to pit road already. Mason Wood right there in the 5th position. Right now we've got rookies in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Matt McIntire in 6th. His teammate Phil Parker is currently 7th. Daniel Olson in 8th. 9th, Quentin Moore. Boy, they kicked up a lot of dust there that time. And now James Qualls currently completes your top 10. Got a good battle back here between Ben Braley and Chelsea Bowles. That would be for 13th. Ooh, Chelsea Bowles got a little loose off that corner. Almost got into the right rear quarter panel of the K-Love Ford Mustang. What about now? Do they come to pit road this time? When they hit the line, there's going to be 3 laps to go. Like I said, I don't think these drivers can make it the full 16 laps on fuel. But Roush is going to stay out another lap. And none of these leaders are coming to pit lane. So now we have to kind of question the strategy of these drivers, because if those other drivers are able to make it the full 16 laps on fuel, then these guys did not strategize correctly. Maybe assuming that everybody was going to have to come to pit road here under green, and now they may have just screwed themselves out of a good finish. Have to wait and see though. Still a little ways to go, and Scott Roush does not look like in any way he is coasting through the corners trying to save fuel, so he looks like he is going all out. One thing he does have, though, is a bit of a gap between himself and Chris Dollerton, so if he does want to try saving fuel, he's got a little bit of an opportunity to be able to do so. Coming up here towards the pit road access road, and let's see if he's going to come to pit lane this time. Nope, not coming to pit road again. It'll be 2 laps to go when Scott Roush hits the line, trying to get Kevshire Racing Tech their 2nd win in 3 races. But the question is there enough Sunoco fuel in the tank to be able to do it? He's got to make it at least 1 more lap after this. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it or not. Last week, Scott Roush moved up 4 spots in the standings, cracked the top 20 in points. Boy, look at that. Completely off the racetrack that time through the corner, as apparently he has lost all sense of grip on the racetrack. Roush debuted last season as a rookie in the 38. Came back this season for a second full-time run with KSRT. And now looking for what could be his first career Pizza Hut X Series victory, but got to see now if he's going to come to pit road here or if he's going to try and risk it and stay out one final time. He's not coming down towards the double white line, which means he is going to go for it. And now you got to really question the strategy there of Cole Deaver, Jordan Lopes, Z Flickinger coming to pit road. They apparently assumed that nobody could make it the full 16 laps on fuel. They're being proved wrong, and now they're probably going to pay dearly in their finishing result. Roush way out in front. He was about a second and a half ahead of C Dollerton, who's still hanging there in second. I think we may have seen the last of the passing here today with the fact these drivers are having such difficulty handling their own race cars to even think about getting up and challenging anybody else for position. Right now, Joshua Hyatt, the highest running rookie there in third. Mark Davidson fourth. Mason Wood in fifth. And right at this moment, barring anybody running out of fuel, I don't see that top five running order changing. Through the final few corners, through the S's, heading down here towards this right-hander, this kind of carousel right-hander. Scott Roush comes down here into the second to last final straightaway, and he is going to be able to make it. He could coast if he wanted to, I think. And through the final corner, Scott Roush will get his first career Pizza Hut X Series win here today at Kyalami. First win of his career, second win of the season for Kevshire Racing Tech, and it's their second win in 3 weeks. And Scott Roush now throws his name into the ring as a potential driver to compete in this season's Pizza Hut X Series chase for the championship. This would be his 45th career, make that 39th career Pizza Hut X Series start. And in his 39th start, he picks up his first win of the series. Great run here for that 38 car that ran second for a majority of the first half of this race to teammate Jordan Lopes, but Lopes, along with Deaver, Flickinger, Brock, and others, electing to come to pit road, and it looks like the 38's out of fuel. 38's coasting, he's out of fuel, so he just barely made it to the start-finish line. So fuel was a bit of a concern, but they had enough in the tank to get to the start-finish line. I don't know if Dollerton and Hyatt behind him are out of fuel or not, or if they're just held up behind the 38, but I do believe the race leader is indeed bone dry in the tank. And it looks like Dollerton and others, they were able to make enough. They're still good on fuel, but look at that. Look at him swerving back and forth. They may have to call a tow truck to push the 38 car to victory lane. Standings, I think, would be official at this point. And indeed they are. So Scott Roush is officially the race winner. That strategy working out perfectly for them. Just barely enough fuel to get to the end. C Dollerton, the well-needed run that he the run that he needed, definitely got today with a runner-up finish in second place. So this, I do believe, will definitely move him up into the top 30 in points and then some. Joshua Hyatt will get Rookie of the Race, finishing third with his teammate Mark Davidson right there in fourth, and Mason Wood will complete the top 5. Then M McIntire with a solid outing in sixth. Phil Parker behind him in seventh. Daniel Olson 8th, Quentin Moore in 9th, and completing your top 10 was James Qualls. A Baranauskas brings it home there in the 11th position, and I don't know for certain based off of where the other drivers finished. No, I don't think she's going to take the points lead. She may jump up to second in points, but I don't think she's going to take the points lead. Justin Tucker's going to finish 12th. 13th for Ben Braley. Chelsea Bowles there in 14th, and Cody Llamas will bring it home in the 15th position. The points leader coming into this race, I think, will be the points leader leaving this race because Angel Navarro was able to fight his way up to at least a 17th place finish. So I think there will be a bit of a points cut between himself and A Baranauskas, but I think Navarro still will keep the points lead heading into next week. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, and we had one driver finish off the lead lap, Canario finishing in 42nd place. Not the run that he needed, our Daytona winner, who came into this race 7th in the point standings, but everybody finished on the lead lap with the exception of the 6th car, but most notably down there, the 15 of Deaver, the 34 of Lopes, the 96 of Flickinger, who were all up inside of the top 5 when they came to pit road. 35th, 36th, and 37th is their lot for their finishing results here today. But that is going to do it here from Kyalami Raceway here in South Africa. If you enjoyed this race, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew. Today we've shown you full feature results. These are rookie points and your overall points heading into next week's race. We're going to finish up this race weekend with another debuting racetrack. The Baja Rally Raceway is going to be where we're going to be having our Hershey's Cup Series race here tomorrow, and it'll be for the first time in the Hershey's Cup Series that we will be running a timed event, so you won't want to miss that. Then next week, it's the Trucks and Hershey's Cup Series drivers, the Monster Mile of Dover. All that and more to come here. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best. So long from Kyalami Raceway.